You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If on the other hand you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Monday, 19th day of November 2018. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a chance to spend some quality time with the family, of course. Hey, holiday week, right? Thursday, let them eat turkey. And Friday, let them feel bad because they ate so much turkey. We're going to take the day off. 4 days back to back. I won't know what to do with myself. Literally. But I'll figure it out. Okay, so we'll be here today, of course, tomorrow, Wednesday, right up till the end, right up until the market closes, Wednesday afternoon. Will Globex open for trading Wednesday night, you ask? Yes. Will there be guidance in the Logic 247 channel? Yes. Will the market be open Thursday morning? Will it be open on Friday? Yeah. No live training room. No radio show Thursday or Friday. Guidance in the channel? Yes. Alright. All right. Okay, you're looking at a chart of the S&P 500 E-mini Futures, or you're not looking at a chart of the S&P 500 E-mini Futures. Some of you are enjoying just the radio aspect of our programming today. That's okay. The rest is, whoever you are, wherever you are. By the way, if you're returning, welcome back. And if you're here for the first time, a special welcome to you. If you can't see the chart, go to our homepage at CFRN.net. On the right-hand side of the page, big microphone. Click it. Follow the instructions. You'll be registered through the end of the month. You only need to register once per month, but you do need to register once per month. Okay? Also, we dual stream at youtube.com/CFRN/live. If you're out and about on the go, can't get to the go-to, then go there. youtube.com/CFRN/live. Okay? Live programming step by step. Same here. Dual stream. All right. We are about to touch down on this week's weekly trading zone, 2685/2686. And that's correct. Normally, we don't put those out until Thursday for the community at large. Of course, CFRN partners and passport holders, they receive their weekly trading zones every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern since December 14th of 2009. True story. And so we're coming right up on it. Already starting to get a little reaction there. So we'll keep an eye on it. Let's take a look at a little bit of news. What do you say? Now, I didn't cook this up. It just popped up. Hear me. Teenagers want Bitcoin for Christmas. I think a whole lot of other people want some cryptocurrency for Christmas. But I do think the Bitcoin thing's maybe a little overdone. Maybe we need to embrace some of the other altcoins. Mythical Games, an LA-based game studio, announced Friday it has secured $16 million in Series A financing. The funds will support the development and co-production of blockchain-powered games for mobile devices, PCs, consoles. The round was led by Galaxy Digital. The startup plans to provide its proprietary platform to other developers to help build player-owned economies. It will also produce tools for brands to monetize their game assets. Again, the name Mythical Games, you Google it. From the company's CEO, the CEO and founder of Galaxy Digital, Mike Novogratz. That's a name you should know. We believe that gaming, and specifically players' interaction with in-game economies and virtual goods, will play a key role in how the masses first discover the true potential of the blockchain. They're going to bring it to the masses as a video game. And once you're playing the game, what was that thing? Like my wife's Farmville. Not just my wife, lots of people played the Farmville. Oh, we got to get the crops in. Oh my goodness. Get out of bed in the middle of the night, go milk the cow. She doesn't play that anymore. But she was really into the Farmville. And then other people, Candy Crush. I'm not sure how to get around the farm, and I don't do candy. So I don't know that I get the virtual economy thing, but other people do, and that's what matters, because I didn't get Facebook. I didn't get Twitter, but other people did, and when I saw everybody else getting it, I thought, well, I better get it. My first tweet didn't go out until 2008, I think it was. My son and I were sitting on the couch. All right, back to Mythical Games. The company was founded by former executives from, now listen to this, who's who, Activision, Blizzard, and Yahoo. They each previously led development teams for games such as Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. That's two of the big ones. The investment from Galaxy, Haviland, and other new investors will allow the company to ignite a new approach to developing games, according to Mythical's co-founder and CEO. He says that we believe these new economics will come to dominate gaming, resulting in an even bigger addressable market for the industry. On Saturday, Mythical Games revealed its first collectibles game, Blanco's Block Party. Blanco's just premiered on CBS 2018 Gamers' Choice Awards preview show. All right. They're out of the gate. I said teenagers want Bitcoin coin for Christmas. Beyond investments by crypto exchanges and blockchain-powered games, another connection between crypto and gaming is that young people tend to prefer in-game digital currencies over the old-fashioned fiat money. Piper Jaffray, an investment banking and asset management firm, published its Holiday 2018 Consumer Report, which rates the gift preferences of American teenagers. The report shows that for the first time ever, young people prefer cryptocurrency and V-Bucks, as in virtual, as presents over fiat cash, gift cards, and money for car-related expenses. The V-Bucks is the in-game currency of the Battle Royale game Fortnite. Now, that's a big one. They play it on the Big Bang Theory. So the wildly popular title has been raking in hundreds of millions of real-world dollars per month from the sale of in-game assets, despite the fact that it's free to play the game. The game's incredible commercial success is probably a major contributing factor to the recent increase in game development funding, as many investors hope to capitalize on its popularity. Ask your teenager what he or she really wants for Christmas. I mean, you could get them socks, right? Yeah, but you don't have to, do you? All right, as we pulled in here to the weekly trading zone at 2685/2686, you got a swing low of 86.5, 2 ticks off the zone. I always tell you, zones are an area, much like fibs. Yes, fibs print an exact number on your chart, so do the zones. But again, now, do I think we're done here? This is a pretty heavy market. Now, we've been a part of this since way up at 27.28. That's when the first alert went out on the short side, and there is not an exit signal anywhere in sight. Now, this bounce we're catching off this zone, is that going to be enough to turn it around? I don't know. We do have one weekly zone left below us this week. Okay, and I'm going to show you exactly where we stand on this week. 27.14. Now again, I don't normally put these out to the general community this early in the week. It's usually Thursday, but we won't be here Thursday. And since we're having a week-long open house, and week-long's 3 days, we're having a week-long open house in the live training room, and everyone who signs up for a demo of our indicator set also gets an invitation to come hang out in the alert trial channel, which is going to be a carbon copy. Everything that goes out in real time in the live alert channel will go out simultaneously in the trial channel, just like we did a few weeks back. In fact, I might use the same channel. So again, if you want to participate in that Logic 247 trial, what do you got to do? Go to cfrn.net/trial. Top of the page, click the DT Pro logo, take the trial so that you can use our indicators for the next 3 days. Because if you're going to be in the room watching Michael put on and take off trades, it just makes sense that you have your own set of indicators exactly like them so that you figure out whether or not it's something that you can do. I know you can. I have no doubts. All right. Let's take a look at the numbers around the world, and then Michael will give us a recap of what happened in the live training room today. All right, we're going to start here in the U.S. These are cash markets. Currently, the Dow down 416 points. Yeah, 416. What does that look like? Well, 416. We were looking to get short the Dow originally. 25,440. Go to the Dow. 25,440. At 25,315. Right here. This one did not trigger. So from 315 we've hit, well, we're almost to 400 points. Call it 300 at $5 a point on the Dow. It's $1,500 per contract available, and we don't.
And we don't yet. But what we're looking at,
and we don't have an exit signal as of yet. So I will show you exactly what I'm talking about.
and that's because.
So Michael, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm
ready to
here
go.
in just a second. Okay, so here we go. On the downside, no exit signal in sight. If we get one during the show, I'll show you exactly what it looks like. If you're on the trial this week, you'll certainly find out what it looks like. Probably more than once. Okay. Alright, so again, the Dow is currently down 415 points on the futures. Yes, the alert did manage to catch 400 of it so far without an exit signal. The NASDAQ is down 185 points. S&P 500 is down 43, and the Russell 2000 down 30 points. Now it's a big day, big numbers. The Dow closing in on 2% to the downside. NASDAQ already at 2.5%. S&P 500 closing in on 2%. And the Russell 2000 sitting just shy 2% in negative territory. In the commodity basket today, crude oil is down a quarter, trading 56.20 last. Gold down 40 cents, trading 1222.60 last. Go gold. In the Asian markets, a little different story. The Nikkei finished the session up 140 points. Shanghai was up 25 points at the close. That's almost 1% for the Shanghai. And the Hang Seng, light numbers for the Hang Seng, just 188 points to the upside. It's a red day in Europe. European markets, the FTSE finished the session down 13 points. DAX was down almost 100. Now that's almost 1% for the DAX. The CAC was down 40 at the close. So there you have it. Green in Asia, red in Europe, red in the US of A. A little green spot there. Natural gas gapped higher on the open last night. The indices gapped lower on the open, and you can see here on the S&P 500 gapped lower. Nature abhors a vacuum, so we simply put in our alerts on all the indices, and you'll see the same thing transpired here, here, and here. Market went, closed the gap. Once that was taken care of, all it had to do was just roll over and fall out of bed. And it took us right down to this weekly trading zone. We do have one more weekly trading zone below, but we're getting a beautiful bounce off of this. Now the swing low, this candle, 86.50. So we missed touching the zone by 2 ticks. And so from 87, we've bounced up to, looks like 93, 94. Okay, we'll take that. 10 points. Closing in on 10. We'll see where it goes. We'll see if it can make it up out of here. I'm sorry. What was that?
I said we'll take 10 points any day.
Yes, sir. Indeed. Okay. It's all yours.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I've never seen that before.
Let me grab it.
I've never seen that before. Look at that.
What?
The arrow is behind the dotted line. Watch. That never happens. Oh, it does on that one, but not on this one. Now, what's different about this line and this line?
When it was painted, probably.
Yeah.
Did you flip your zones? Did you flip your zones after drawing the drawing the arrow?
Oh, I saw this the other day. Bring forward. Where does it say that? Maybe not in here. Oh well, I won't worry about it now. I just have never noticed that before. I think somebody's been playing with our platform over the weekend. I would have noticed that before, I think. Although,
right now, if you draw an arrow right now, if you grab it and draw it on top of the line, it's going to go on top of the line. Yeah. If you drag that other one back down below the line, it's just the time that it was drawn, I think. That's what I think.
I think you're right. That's what I think. I think you're right. So everybody understands we had a gap lower open. Price ran up to close the gap. Once it closed the gap, it rolled over, and here we are knocking on the door of the next to the lowest weekly trading zone for the S&P 500 and the Dow and the Russell and the NASDAQ. So we'll see what happens. Michael, it's all yours, and I should be here when you're done.
Okay, let me get this done. Let's do this. All right, now I'm going to do something a little different today. You see over here on the crude, I have all white bars. I'm doing this for the benefit of anybody who thinks the color of the bar on a 4-tick range really has anything to do with it. It doesn't. Okay. Let me bring the spreadsheet up and all that stuff. Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Monday, the 19th day of November, 2018. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage at CFRN.net, and it says right over here, apply.cfrn.net, 5-day free trial. Click on that, right? Go to the homepage. The homepage is right here at CFRN.net. Once you click on that, you'll be brought to this page where all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit the submit button. Once you hit the submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. Look at that, yes. You'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, then we don't know that you took the free trial. Okay, we don't know that you took the free trial. Okay, spreadsheet. Now, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Okay. As I said, today is the 19th day of November, 2018. Today, we made 5 ticks on crude and 6 ticks on the ES to put us at plus 125 on the morning session. Now, it took 46 minutes and 5 trades to get there, and we took 5 trades. So on the month now, we're at $23.46 or $2,346. That's over 13 days, averaging $180 a day. On the year, we're at $33,725. That's over 215 days, averaging $156 a day. $156 per day. Now, we'll jump back in here and take a look at this. Okay, now we have, like Dwayne just mentioned earlier, we have open house all week. If you have not gotten an open house invitation and you want one, send us an email at support@cfrn.net, support@cfrn.net. Okay, and I did a lot more talking than trading this morning, and I expect that's probably going to continue the next couple of days. But our first trade opportunity was right here on the gold. Hey, wait, I could have fixed that. We had 6 trades today. Our first trade opportunity was right here on the gold, and we could have break even on that. It was really choppy after that, and toward the end of the session, there was another one here that I missed. But I got to mark up that one that I did get. Let me go back to the spreadsheet right away, because we do want this to be as accurate as possible. 6. Okay. Then we're totally flat during the break. It's pulling back now, given a shorting opportunity. What I would do is draw a trend line like that and look for a close down below the trend line. Okay. Okay. Now, wow. Okay. Here we go. On the euro, it was really flat for the first half hour, and then I missed, it looks like, every trade that happened. It was one here, one here, one here. All of them would have been at least break even, most of them profitable. There was nothing here on the slingshot, so we didn't get anything there. And then there was a short here that would have been a break even. So I think the way it looks, it would have been 2 break evens and 2 profitable trades. But we got nothing. And during the break, there was nothing to be had on the euro. All right, now this one is the one that's a little bit different. You see, I don't have any colors on this. And the reason I don't have any colors, okay, can I read that out loud, Arlene? I'll read that out loud in a minute if you let me. On this one, I'm going to scroll back, because on this one, all the bars are white, okay? And this is crude oil. Now, we started out on crude right over here. Actually, there might have been something else. Nah. Oh, there was. Back here. Right at the open, there was a short right there. If you got that, you could have gotten the goal for the day. I did get this, but I only got 3 ticks out of it. Then I made a mistake here. You see, there was, let me move. I guess I can move that too. Move the arrows out of the way. See, right here we hit the BBC with an up close, and the cycle was blue and had bullish separation. That was a long opportunity right there on the up close off the BBC. I didn't join in until right here, and then it stopped me out. Okay. Because I got in at the wrong place. So that was a mistake on my part. But it is what it is, and I'm going to show you what I do. Win or lose. I'm going to show you what I do. Okay, and then over here, we got 10 ticks profit on that, so we made it back up. And then while I was jotting everything down in my journal, I missed that one, and that one, all which would have been profitable. And over here, a couple more profitable trades that I missed. Hey, I didn't even mention this one. What did I get on that? Yeah, I didn't count that, but I guess I just won't. So I missed that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. And I got that one, but I don't remember what I got on it. Probably 3 or 4 ticks, it looks like. Then we got into the break. And during the break, there was a long opportunity there. And yeah, and that was about it. Okay, and that was crude oil today. I mean, we did actually better than I thought we did, but again, we open house all week. There's lots of questions and lots going on. So I'm between emails, text messages, and the chat box, there's a lot going on. Okay, now on the ES, we had a couple of trades, and I know I missed stuff. It's loading it up right now. But I know I missed stuff here on the ES today. There we go. Okay, so we started out here. I missed a short right here. Would have been the goal for the day. I missed another short right there. Would have been almost the goal for the day. I picked up a break even right there and +6 right there. Okay, and this is our weekly trading zone. So I missed a long right here that would have been a break even. A short right here. This was toward the end of the session. That would have worked out really well. Looks like there was another short right there that would have worked out for probably a point or two. Yeah, and that's, well, we'll go through it all. There was another short here and another short here that would have worked out. Tried to flip to the long side, and there would have been a long here that would have been a break even right over here. Okay, then it flipped back to the short side, but we didn't get a trade set up. There was a short right in here, would have been a break even. And a short right in here. That would have given some profit there too. Okay, and so that was our morning. That was our morning today on this Monday of a holiday week. So I'm happy to have made the goal for the day. And you can see I missed a whole bunch of stuff. And we told everybody, look for the break. The time between 11:30 and 12. Look for some trades in that time frame because there's probably going to be some. Okay. Let's see. Back to the spreadsheet. If you are going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 19th day of November. We made 5 ticks on Crude and 6 ticks on the ES to put us at plus 125. We actually made a little bit more on Crude, but I don't know exactly how much. Oops. Yeah. Anyway. Today, it took 46 minutes and 5 trades to get to the goal for the day. And at that point, we're up 125. And we took a total of 6 trades today. So on the month now, we're at $2,346. That's over 13 days, averaging $180 a day gross. On the year, we're at $33,725. That's over 215 days, averaging $156 per day. $156 per day. Yeah. If you have not taken a free trial, go to the home page at CFRN.net. Right over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial. Click on that, apply.cfrn.net, and that will bring you here, where all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit the submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click the confirmation link. Okay, we don't know you took the trial until you click the confirmation link. Okay, now, I'll read to you what Arlene just typed in. Well, she typed it in at 12:27. But Arlene is a fairly new partner. And what she said, she's so happy. Up 500 today before commissions on 1 contract. Concentrating on the ES. Watching 1 market is better. Our method speaks to her. It is the best combination of simplicity with enough information. That's what she said. Just wanted to read that. Okay, and with that, we can pass it back out to Studio A in fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready.
Yep, I'm ready. There we go. Oh, just about do it. And that does it. Okay.
That does
and
it.
then here's another little thing I was telling you about. If you look under sharing, and you drop down to...
Hang on, I got something covered. Okay.
And play. It's not playing, is it? I'm looking up in the audience view. It's not playing. Or maybe the audience can see it and we can't. Oh, it is playing. It is playing. Okay, that is what I was telling you about earlier. So that's what I was telling you about earlier.
How did you get to it, though? Show me.
Go to.
I missed that part.
Okay,
never mind. Never mind. I'll figure it out.
Under sharing, you just drop below screen. Just hit the screen, and then you'll see that there's 5 uploaded videos. You can play any one of them.
Okay.
You just gotta upload them before you start the session.
I see. It automatically mutes everyone when you play that, though. Just so you know.
Yeah, it muted me too. I could tell because I was trying to talk to you. And
yeah.
Now, could you see it playing?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it.
I can see it on my monitor, but on the machine I'm working from and the displays I'm working on from, it wasn't visible there. But I see now that that's the presenter's controls. So, in effect, it really does work. So
good.
That's kind of good.
Excellent.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bold claim. Never get stopped out again. Book a free mentoring session, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. If you change your thinking, you can change your trading. If you change your trading, you can change your life. Go to CFRN.net. Let me go in the chat box. I'll type it in. CFRN.net/Emini personal mentoring. Now that's for everyone who's not already in the, for anyone who is not in front of a computer. I know you can't remember that, and that's okay. I'll tell you what you can remember. 833, in God we trust. 833, in God we trust. And John's on the line.
Okay. You want me to open it up?
Please, recap of the recap.
Recap of the recap. 5 trades, 46 minutes, $125
per contract. You also had that after the first trade, right?
No. After the first trade, we had 3 ticks.
Oh.
Then we stopped out, and we were -5. Then we had +10, and we were +5. And then we had a break even on the ES, and then we got 6 ticks on the ES.
Good job.
That was.
Hello, John. Welcome to the show.
Hi there. Sorry, let me just... Okay. I actually was anxious to get on, try and call this bottom for the folks, because just as you called, we were making the lows. And we've turned around pretty smartly, and that kind of double bottom we've put in there could see a rally back up to the previous trading zone. at least for starters. I think the lows are in for the time being, not necessarily for the day, but at least for a rally. we actually just called a rally right near the lows, which was kind of unusual because it's actually this is the first time the Dow's turned off of about a 400 down, 420, 430 down. It usually goes further or not that far, you know. So it's a good it's a good bounce, but whether this is the real deal or not, I'm not sure yet.
It's a convincing bounce, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's quite a good one, actually.
85, 86, we bounced 13 points, looks like up to 98 so far. But yeah, I don't expect to see it go above this 1415 like you just mentioned. I think that's where it'll run into some trouble and at least come back to test the lows or take a run at the lowest weekly trading zone for the week. And that's doable. Now, you made a comment last week. You typically talk about how markets rally into 4th of July and Columbus Day and Martin Luther King Day or any kind of holiday. But no, last week you said the markets tend not to rally into Thanksgiving. At least
well, look, it tends to dip before Thanksgiving and then rally either just before Thanksgiving or afterwards.
The Wednesday rally, yeah. Now that I remember. Yeah, okay. So this,
right, so
this is the part of the history. Okay. Then that makes sense.
Yeah, and obviously there was a lot of. I mean, it's funny because I've been to Port Moresby a few times in my life, and it used to be a pretty rundown kind of a place. So they must have spruced it up for this APEC meeting. Have all the world leaders there, and it's in Papua New Guinea, by the way, for those who don't know. And
I've actually been there.
Oh, you have too? Yeah, we both have. So it's pretty. It is probably. I mean, when you and I were there, I think it was pretty basic, right?
It was. I remember. I vaguely remember New Caledonia.
Yeah, New Caledonia is nice. It's very nice, but Mosby, it was kind of, it was raining and it was kind of very rainforest type place, but we are having a bit of a turn here potentially.
Hey, this lady that wrecked her car this weekend in that Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Did she survive that?
Yeah, she did amazingly. Yeah, and she, even though she supposedly broke her spine, which normally you'd think is terminal, she may have gotten dodged the bullet.
It looked like the car was airborne.
What struck me was, the funny thing is, I mean, listen, they were only going 150 miles an hour going into that corner, and yet she kind of must have run up on the car in front and literally went airborne. So it tells you, how Lewis Hamilton, these guys are going 200 miles an hour plus, and the Indy cars as well, and the NASCARs, they're all going about 200 miles an hour. So that it's incredibly dangerous, and it could happen to anybody. It could happen to Lewis Hamilton, God forbid. It could happen to him or anybody else. But
she was only 17.
Yeah,
right.
And Fernando Alonso.
17. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Fernando Alonso, a few years ago, had an incredible crash in somewhere, Spain, or maybe it was in Brazil. In Brazil, he had an incredible crash because the headline. I remember the headline on the paper that afternoon was "The luckiest guy in the world," and here he is reading it. Reading his own headline. Wow. It's kind of funny. He had a similar crash to that kind of thing where it went airborne. The next week's the final Grand Prix, I think, in Abu Dhabi, and that's it's either next week or the week after, and that's going to be probably a good race. But next year should be a pretty good season. Hamilton did incredible. He won 10 races this season, and 10 out of like 20 something. Had about 15 poles. Just amazing performance. One of the best ever by any. By the way, a friend of my son's, his schoolmate actually, won the Australian Open yesterday. By 5 shots, by 5 strokes, which is amazing.
Australian Open?
Can you believe it? And you remember I mentioned him a while back when he was leading the that FedEx Cup for one of the championships, but unfortunately he fell behind and he didn't win it. But I mean, listen, even Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson have never won the Australian Open, and this guy did, and won it by 5 strokes. And if you take the statistics in terms of he was under par, you know, below 16 below par, minus 16. That's pretty incredible. That's about 5 short of the best, and if you take all 3 statistics, he's in the top 5 best of all time out of about 115 championships, which is really incredible. So and he's already automatically qualified for the UK Open and a few other Opens next year. So it's really incredible, you know, come out of nowhere. And as you know, I've said, that's what's so exciting today about golf and Formula One, for that matter, is, you know, you have these guys who, you know, the sort of, you know, the number of, like, there's half a dozen Tiger Woods kind of lookalikes these days, people who are just coming out of nowhere and performing brilliantly, you know, like that Kupka guy, who you know, if you like, in the FedEx Cup they were calling him invincible, you know, and all of a sudden he's not in the running. You know, he just dropped right back. They were sort of saying, you know, this guy's unbeatable. And then, you know, then Tiger came from behind and won his amazing victory. And then you had Spieth. You know, a couple of years ago, Spieth was, you know, amazing, unbelievable. He won the Open by maybe the biggest margin ever. Sorry, the Atlanta thing, the green, you know, forget what they call it. So it's probably going to be a very exciting year next year for golf, because I think especially if Tiger's kind of right up there with him again, you know, in his comeback. So I want to actually go in and defend Donald Trump today, because you know, I don't watch MSNBC as a rule, but I tuned in on Saturday just to keep an eye on it, and they just, I mean, one show after show, all through the day, they just spent the whole day bashing Trump. I mean, you know, morning, noon, and night. I mean, it's amazing. They're so obsessed with this guy, they just can't stop talking about him. And of course, the same on CNN. But of course, they were beating up on him about the not attending going to the cemetery over in France. And I thought about it, and he, you know, he said, look, you know, in his explanation, he said, look, then there's security. And nobody, of course, even brought this up. This is about, you're going to hear it here first. You know, look, when they plan these trips, the Secret Service they plan these things weeks, months in advance. I mean, a lot of times, if he's in a strange city, you know, they're going to, especially London, they're going to weld, you know, they're going to seal the manhole covers and all kinds of things. So the fact of the matter was, it was foggy, and so the helicopter ride was out, and the Secret Service legitimately wouldn't allow him to do the road trip, because, hello, you know, is Paris the most terror-ridden city you know, in the Western world, and London for that matter? So, I mean, people are just giving zero credit to the Secret Service for doing their job, and actually absolutely saying, no, this is not, you know, you don't plane. I mean, listen, everybody knows this trip's been planned forever because it was the 100th anniversary. So, you know, out of prudence and protection, you would never, you know, divert from any kind of pre-planned you know, transportation or route or anything else in relation to the president. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just not going to happen. And, you know, unfortunately, he didn't explain that very well, but that is a fact. That just, I mean, all these fancy generals who are sitting up there and criticizing him for this and that, they don't even understand how their own Secret Service works. Am I right?
Yes, you're right.
I mean,
yeah, you're right.
You know, I mean, protecting the president's a big deal.
Yes, it is a big deal.
Yeah, and I mean,
the controversy originally erupted over him not going to the grave, correct?
Yeah,
Is that
I
where
mean,
it
look,
started?
well, the second thing is he got criticized for not going to Arlington, which is, 10-minute ride or something. But, he said he was busy. And, to be fair, he probably should have gone, and he admitted it so he said he was sorry. But they really beat up on him for not going to the French ceremony, and he went the next day anyway. So, I mean, there was such a lot of it, much ado about nothing. And then the other thing is, in the last couple of days, he's been bashing Pakistan, over bin Laden and stuff. And I think that's a really,
Just because you can
unnecessary
go
or
there doesn't
uncalled
mean
for.
you need to.
Well, look, the thing about Pakistan is there's been a lot of, they've had plenty of history. It's an extremely dangerous country. There's been all kinds of terrible bombs and assassinations and everything else. One of the prime ministers got assassinated, was killed in a bomb blast. And, it's not been a walk in the park for the Pakistanis by any means. They've got a real, they've had a real problem, with the Taliban and everything else. And amazingly, very quietly, over the last couple of years, Pakistan has gotten very, very quiet indeed. And there really, I don't want to jinx anything, but there really hasn't been anything bad happening in Pakistan for really quite a while. There's been a few minor incidents, but nothing really drastic or major. And it's certainly an incredible change from a few years ago. And one of the reasons is that politically, Pakistan is becoming more conservative, and they just recently elected Imran Khan, former cricket hero, one of the greatest cricketers of all time, Pakistan hero, and everybody's cool because he's such a great guy, and he's such a popular guy, and he's kind of like this guy in Mexico. He wants to make peace. He wants to run the country and grow Pakistan. I think he's made a few deals with China. But I mean, it's not the time to be bashing Pakistan when you've got a new guy in there who's really trying to make a difference. And is not only that, is a huge hope for the future of that area, of both Pakistan and Afghanistan. And I'm a little bit sort of aghast that Trump brings up this bin Laden thing. I mean, listen, I think he's got a legitimate point about the previous administrations. Certainly, probably knew about it and didn't do anything about it. I mean, look, it's not easy catching a guy like bin Laden. They haven't found al-Zawahiri yet, who's his partnering, since the beginning. Whether he's dead or not, it's possible he is, but they certainly haven't found him in 18 years. They haven't found him for 17 years. So it's an incredibly difficult job finding these guys. So I mean, look, there's one in Mexico right now who's like the bin Laden of Mexico almost, and they can't find him. So it's and El Chapo's partner, they've never been able to find him either. I mean, he lives up in the mountains, and they've never found him. So it's very difficult to find people, especially, I mean, he could be hiding in Iran, he could be hiding in Brunei or some other place. You'd never know where he might be hiding. So it's
Joan just mentioned something about some guy paragliding over Trump on his Scotland golf course this year.
Yeah. Just a protester. I mean, it could have been something worse, but it was just a protester. And anyway, look, I'm really, Pakistan is really it's a beautiful country. They've had a lot of problems in the past, but I think Pakistan is actually going a little bit the way of Saudi Arabia, sort of like reforming and not being so austere, if you like, and highly religious. So even Afghanistan. Afghanistan's got a real problem, because the Taliban still control a huge amount of the country. It's sort of a it's a never-ending struggle. Just a sec.
Go ahead.
Right back.
Go ahead. Yeah, this is the down. Pull down this weekly trading zone to 25,350. Okay. All right. So as we broke below this weekly trading zone, and this is this week's zone. That's how you do that. All right. And so below us we have 160, 165, and then below that we've got 24,920 / 25. That's down. Right. Didn't quite get to it. The swing low was 32 and the zone was 25. That should be 920. Right there, 925. Okay, and then we got one right here in the middle. I'm just going to put one line there for now. 25,350. No, 25,160. There we go. Now the alert. 160 / 165. So the alert was to get short 25,315. That's after we did the gap fill on Globex this morning as the market broke. We just got with it, and the same is true as with the S&P. No exit signal in sight as of yet. Now we'll see. Go ahead, John.
Yeah. This is actually a pretty tough kind of a day ahead of going into Thanksgiving. We've back in 2008 we had a kind of a 2007 and 8 both years we had a pretty awful approach to Thanksgiving, if you like. So it's not we haven't had any negative kind of Thanksgivings for quite a while because we've been going up for a few years, but we have had some pretty bad experiences before. So it's today, even though we've got a little bit of a buy here, it looks like it might actually break down through that weekly trading zone, go a little bit lower before turning. Possibly, because we've got some things going on today that are just bad. You got Amazon, Facebook, Google, Apple. Everybody's going down, and really is kind of
down $45 on the session.
Yeah, it's a gloomy kind of a
almost 20%. How unusual is that for Apple?
No, Apple's only down.
That's Apple since the high. Okay.
Yeah.
Get too many things moving on my screen.
It's pretty it's pretty rough.
How much is it down?
And down 7 or 8. Okay. And the problem is we're back in this Monday. Unless we have a late rally, which we may not get today. We could have one of those incredible late rallies sometime in the afternoon, but it's looking a bit doubtful. And so if we close down 4, 5, 6, 700, 8, who knows what the number will be today, it kind of sets us up for a bit of an 87 type Tuesday. So if we do have a gap down tomorrow and a further sell-off, I would probably look for a bottom sometime around 10:30, 11 o'clock, because I think we might get actually a very big rally tomorrow. and that could be it for this particular period. You know, we got so we then maybe rally up, maybe have a bit of a rally on Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Friday post Thanksgiving might be a pop as well. Remember that in spite of the fact that Alibaba did, you know, like $30-something billion in a day, hasn't done much for the stock. We're barely moved in, you know, off the lows in that stock. So in fact, the 11th was we rallied about $5, maybe 10 off that, you know, on that news. So, and it's down again. So it's really net has only rallied about $5. So, you know, having a record Thanksgiving is not necessarily going to move stock up that much. It might do, but don't be prepared to be disappointed. What's really going to move the needle is probably a rally into the end of the month, and this G20 meeting that's coming up. Now, Mike Pence got into a shouting match kind of thing with the Chinese prime minister, you know, president yesterday, which is one of the reasons why we're down as much as we are today. But I think he could be playing bad cop, good cop. So, you know, he kind of sets a bad tone in yesterday's conference, and then Trump comes in and makes a deal with Xi at the next one. That would be, you know, that'll make him look good, and it would make Xi look good. So it's something that might not guarantee it's going to happen, but if it does happen, you know, knowing the way this market, the slightest, you know, sense of trade deal, and the market rallies substantially. So I would be looking at Boeing in particular for a buying opportunity in Boeing, and unfortunately Nvidia is acting really bad again today. It's down $12 or so, and it doesn't look like it's turning it. But keep in mind that the last time Nvidia sold off, it had a, you know, came up with some news and sold off from about 265 down to 240, and then it rallied right up to 285 and eventually 290. So I think tomorrow the bottom might be in on Nvidia, and we could have a huge rally that might be the beginning of a very, very, very big rebound, because I think this stock's been a bit overdone. And another thing is that AMD is holding up quite well today. It's only down $1. I would be, and then look, to point out the strong stocks, our old friend Intercept bottomed last week
ICPT?
ICPT bottomed last week at 92, and it run up to 109 today on the open. It's at 105 right now. We bought it in the 90s and low 90s, and MDGL, which I think I mentioned to you on Friday, we got into that for the rally from about.
What was your commentary on Intercept?
Well, it's pointing out the strong stocks today, which is Intercept, and which is up 2.5, and Tesla is also up today. Which is kind of a good sign. We're actually starting to rally here again.
Intercept's given up quite a bit of ground off the high of the day.
Yeah, actually this might be it, Dwayne. Maybe they're going to have another pop here.
Yeah, it's certainly possible.
Yeah.
I would think we would get a little better effort here.
Yeah.
Than what we've gotten. I think maybe we bounce it up to 27.
No, what we got to be worried about is if, look, it could be the bottom today, and it'd be great if it is, but it, you know, and if especially went up to the previous trading zone, that would be quite a big deal. But you know, if we roll over this afternoon and sell off further, that could be testing. That could be pretty testing. You know, that could create a bit of panic. The gold and silver have been acting quite well Gold is up, and silver is looking quite good. Platinum's recovered today; it's up 10. So it could mean that gold is going to rally further into the day. The grains fell down as soon as this Chinese thing happened over the weekend. That would put the kibosh on the grains, because that's obviously puts the soybean deal, further out. So it's and here, look, we're coming off again now. Jeepers! That's in 1 minute it looks like it's going to rally, and the next minute gets taken out of the woodshed.
Well, it wasn't until this morning. All night we were teeter-tottering on the brink of the market breaking, and it wasn't until the 10 a.m. Eastern candle that it got aggressive. It came down, it hit that first weekly trading zone at 2714/15. It consolidated there for an hour and then continued its path down to the next zone. And it looks like we're going to go test it again. And if we go test it again right here, right now, I think there's a higher probability that we recover from here and start to move higher.
Yeah.
That one little V bottom down there, I don't trust that. So if we come back here and maybe spend some time, consolidate a little bit at this zone, give the buyers time to muster their strength and show up, maybe we have something to the upside. The beautiful thing about futures, though, whether it goes up or down, we're okay with that.
Yeah, it's starting to look pretty grim now. This is a heavy day, man. This is a really bad day. It's catching people out, people kind of getting a holiday mood rather, and they got to deal with the market that's going against them. It's a tough deal for a lot of people. It's not a kind of a blackish Monday right now. By the way, there was a couple of other sporting events this weekend which were very good. The Brits beat Croatia, who they lost to in the World Cup, and got into the semi-final of some kind of League of Nations championship. Puts them in the running for the first trophy since 1966 for the British soccer team, notwithstanding the fact that the under-21s won the World Cup last year, or earlier this year. And the Irish beat the All Blacks, New Zealand, for the second time in history, and the first time ever at home in Ireland. So everybody's saying they've got a chance of winning the World Cup right now, next year, which is going to be in Japan. And they beat them soundly. They beat them like 16-9, I think, which is a pretty good beating for the All Blacks. And this team very rarely loses. They're almost invincible. So it was a huge, great day for Ireland.
Ireland. How long has it been since you were there?
It's been a while.
I don't know how long it's been since I've been. I would love to go back. I'd love to spend some time there.
Yeah, no, it's a great place. It's a great place. And I mean, it's amazing. It's right now. It's like the third richest country on earth per capita. It's really amazing.
Well, yeah, I know there was that.
Who'd have ever thought?
Bubble, that aberration when Google started to sock away all their money there, and then Apple followed suit. But I thought they fell on hard times since then.
No, they did. They've come back.
They've come back
better than ever. Yeah, I mean, look, right now they're somewhere between 7th and 3rd in the world. I mean, their per capita income's about $73,000 a year per person. It's crazy. I mean, England's about 45, and the U.S. was about 55. I think the U.S. just hit 62 thanks to Trump. But they're still $10,000 per person, $11,000 per person ahead of the U.S. And they might even be doing even better right now. So it's, I mean, as I've told you before on this show, when I grew up seeing all these unemployed people, I used to call them propping up buildings. They'd be lining the walls. of the buildings, the corner buildings, looking for work. You know, this is a terrible, terrible, terrible time for a lot of people. And you know,
what
I mean,
what industry does Ireland have? What?
Well, they've got the one thing they've got is that's probably guaranteed, or put them where they are today, is they've got a highly educated population. You know, I think almost 100% of the population are literate, and everybody, you know, they got a very good school system. I can personally attest to that.
Well, yeah, they did a good job on you. They sure did.
Actually, I was pretty useless at school, but the nuns must have drilled it into me or something. But and all the priests. It's well, look, I got the grounding, and I used to struggle with English literature and English language and all that. And
you struggled with language. That's hard to fathom.
But anyway, it's no. Look, Ireland is a lot of. I mean, you know, they've got a thing where it's sort of like the U.S., where if you've got the money, you can become a resident. So they have a kind of a magnetic thing where they're trying to draw people with intellect to the country, right. And poets and writers and artists and things like that. They have
the land of the poets and the
yeah, and they have industrial development. You know, they have a very high tech. I mean, you got all the high tech giants there. So why wouldn't it be? You know, Facebook, Microsoft, and all these kind of, so they're all because of, and remember we talked about this before. You know, it's a small country. You know, you've got 4 million people. It's not too hard to get, you know, to get to full employment with 4 million people. If you've got, you know, if you're willing to spend the money and bring the businesses to the country. So it's remarkable what's happened, and then tourism is a big deal too. So, you know, they've got it going for them. It's they've really done an incredible job. I mean, you couldn't have seen it coming. I mean, back in ¡84, which was like about the worst year I can remember. I mean, things were really, really, really grim back then. That was right before they got into the European community, and it's the European community that really transformed Ireland. So it's an amazing story. So it really is.
So is there any manufacturing that goes on in Ireland?
Oh yeah. I mean, look, it's not like China. You know, it's not known for its manufacturing, but there is manufacturing there. And of course, there's quite a lot of banking. There's a lot of the financial. You know, Ireland's benefited from the Brexit because a lot of the financial firms moved from London to Dublin to stay in the EU.
What's the upside to the Brexit?
Well, you know, the upside is if Boris Johnson gets to be Prime Minister, he might. I don't think anybody's got any confidence in this Prime Minister right now. She's really kind of messed up. You know, she hasn't got a very good relationship with Trump. She hasn't got, you know, she doesn't have a really good relationship with Europe. They say she's been taken advantage of. I think interestingly enough, Boris Johnson is leading the polls now by quite a measure to become the next Prime Minister. So it's either going to be, you know, Saturday Night Massacre, where they, you know, do something right out of the blue and he takes over, or it's going to take a bit longer, but it's looking quite encouraging.
You need to grab that?
Yeah. Listen, I better wrap it up, but thanks very much for the invite.
Thank you.
Okay, I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.
Catch you tomorrow. All right, we're looking at gold right here, and gold, we're up against weekly trading zone 1225/26. If we can get through there, hold it on a pullback, then we're looking at 1234/35. If we don't hold that, let me close John's mic. And there we go. Okay, so if we get through and hold on a pullback, then we're looking at 34.35. If this stops us in our tracks, as it did here, okay, then once you break this, look for the zone below, which is this week 15, 14. Obviously there's a potential for support right across here. And we do not know which way this will go. Whichever way it goes, we have a pretty good idea of how we'll choose to deal with it. S&P working on the lows again. Okay, so we're putting a second, well, I guess you could call it a third leg on the stool. Well, the leg's not the same size. So we've got, we're in the third 30-minute candle, consolidating at this area. Consolidation usually will hug the zone a little tighter, but we're in the land of giants right now. So on the Dow, we dropped $2,000 per contract so far, and if this wants to drop to the next zone, the lowest weekly zone on the Dow is 480/485. On the ES, it is 2648/49 right here. Russell lowest zone is down at 1475/76. Could we go there today? We could. If we do, we'll be looking for an option trade tomorrow morning to go the opposite direction. We probably will, if that's what happens. Crude looks like it wants to take another drop, but it's not in a position for us to do anything at all with it right at the moment. The NQ, the alert after the gap fill, just like the Dow, the S&P after the gap fill, get short 68.41, $3,000 per contract drop. Now that's this week's zone there. 67, no it's not. I thought it was. It's 66.48 is the lowest. 66.48 is the lowest weekly trading zone this week for the NQ. Now the NQ led to the downside this morning. Is it making a statement for the week? Does it catch its bounce here? Again, this is the lowest weekly trading zone. 66.48/66.49. So we came within just a few ticks of touching that. We get down to 66.54. Now, zones are in area. So a $3,000 per contract. Now, here's the deal. When this alert originally went out, and let me show you. 62. Okay, we were taking it down just 10 points. It's $200 per contract. Trail if possible. TIP. Trail if possible. What does that mean? It means if you can stay in the trade without having to do anything, go ahead. The market will let you know when it's time to get out, if you're running our indicators. Here's what will happen. You see the step line is pointing straight down. It will hook a right, and it will get on the back side of the CFMA1. You see it was on the back side, now it's pointing down again. Now it's going to have to go through a whole other 30-minute candle at least to hook that right turn. Okay. Once it hooks the right turn, once it is firmly on the back side of the CFMA1, when we have a green candle on this chart close above the step line, that will be an exit signal. It's the same exit signal every single time. Same signal every single time. And so, well, how far do I trail my stop? And, you know, using an arbitrary number, well, it doesn't allow you to maximize the potential that's in the trade. So that's why we take a, now keep in mind that once we've dropped away from the final target on the trade, whatever it is, whether it's the S&P, because we have the same thing transpiring on the S&P, on the Dow, and on the NQ right now. So it becomes a question of, once you've passed that final target, you can bring your hard stop, or your secondary target, as we call it. You can bring your secondary target down to your final target. Now, what this means is, on a bounce, worst case, you get taken out at the final target, which is where you would have got taken out anyway. Okay? But on the S&P, for example, this was 4 points, $50 a point, $200 per contract. $200 turned into almost $2,000 and still falling. And all you had to do is nothing. All you have to do is nothing. This will hook a right turn, get on the back side of the CFMA1. We'll have a green candle close above it, and that'll be the market firmly saying, you know what, it's been a nice ride, we had a good time, now time to go. And when that 30-minute candle closes green, whatever the closing price is, that's your exit price. Okay, it's not complicated, not hard to see, not hard to figure out, doesn't take years of training. It's just there. Now, as I spun through this at the beginning of the show, I mean, we had a great Globex session. Still got a bunch of stuff. I've got a recap. Oh, the Russell. Yeah, we were in the Russell. Had an alert on the Russell here. 1505 down to 1503. Yeah, it went all the way down to 1496. Looks like. Okay. So, I said this in the live training room, so anybody that's here that was in the live training room, or anyone who's here that wasn't in the live training room, we have a 3-day open house this week in the live training room. Today was day 1, still got tomorrow and Wednesday. Part of taking the trial in the live training room is also taking a trial of the indicators. Put them on your chart. See what an exit signal looks like on your chart. It doesn't just happen on my chart, it can happen on your chart. So if you download the platform and the indicators, go to cfrn.net/trial. At the top of the page, just click DT Pro logo, follow the instructions. You'll have the platform up and running, you'll have the indicators up and running. There's no obligation. Live real-time data, no cost. You'll be able to use it for a week. You'll be able to use the indicators and just see exactly how powerful they can be, keeping you in and keeping you out. Knowing when not to trade is as important, if not more important, than knowing when to trade. Now, here's what happens is, once you sign up for that trial, you'll get a confirmation email. Forward me your confirmation email. I will forward you a link to the Logic 247 trial channel for this week. That's all you got to do. Take the demo, cfrn.net/trial. Top of the page, click the DT Pro logo, follow the instructions, and when you get your confirmation email, forward that email to support@cfrn.net, and in turn, I will send you a link to this week's Logic 247 trial channel. Great webinar Friday. We went over fibs in depth. If you missed that, it is available for your viewing pleasure at youtube.com/CFRN. All of our videos always end up at youtube.com/CFRN, unless it's a partners workshop or something created just for partners or passport holders. If you have questions on becoming a partner or passport holder, I will be in Telegram this afternoon. Just search at CFRN, the number 1. Probably if you put my name in there, you'll find me. Probably if you put CFRN, you'll find me. But that's where I'll be. You can always call us 833 In God We Trust. That's 833-464-6393. Let's go to our good word for the day. If you have any questions, put them in the chat box. I'll be happy to answer them before I go. Okay, we're going to pick up where we left off last week. We talked about Admiral Lord Nelson, the guy who was... Kevin, tell me your fib question again. Okay, just type it in for me again. I'll be happy to answer it for you. We talked last week about having a good attitude, a winning attitude. The psalm was, "You armed me with strength for battle." Everybody's fighting their own battles. God did say something about that. He said he would fight them for you. Lord Admiral Nelson, the big war hero, the big naval war hero from England, suffered from seasickness. Every day he had to get up, wake up, be seasick, overcome that, and become the biggest naval war hero in England. If you've ever been seasick, you know what a challenge that is. Oh, and speaking of seasick, don't get seasick on the cruise. That's right. Next May, we're planning to go to Alaska. That's our plan. Glacier cruise. Yes, you're invited, but we need to know who's coming. So if you haven't already told me you want to go, let me know. Today, giant killers. Because we're in the land of giants here. Look at the size of these candles. 1 Samuel 17:50. So David conquered the Philistine giant. David prevailed over that Philistine with a sling and with a stone and struck the Philistine and killed him. There was no sword in the hand of David. 1 Samuel chapter 17 is the backdrop for the story of David and Goliath. The shepherd slays the soldier. We all know the story. The boy conquers the giant. God gives David victory over his giant to inspire us to confront our own giants. Giants can be tangible or intangible. The things we can't overcome, seduced by fear, we think we can. They can also be unattainable goals, unfinished products, unfulfilled dreams. Yeah, you know, the loose ends of life. Stuff that keeps us mired in mediocrity. A giant is anything or anybody keeping you from being or doing what God wants you to be or do. Giants can be internal, they can be external, they can be real or imagined, physical or emotional. A giant could be an attitude. It could be a bad habit. It could be a belief. It could be a philosophy, a memory. It could be a person who stands between you and God. Between who you are and who God wants you to be. Between where you are and where God wants you to go. Between what you believe and what God wants you to believe. You see, these giants, be they internal or external, have but one goal in life: to stop your progress and to prevent you from reaching your God-given destiny. Giant killers see victory in the shadow of defeat. They perceive every fight as a test where the challenge is to turn a negative into a positive. Conflict is accepted and resistance expected. To them, conflict is growth. And overcoming an enemy is the prerequisite to promotion. Giants can expose our hidden strengths, be a measuring stick for our growth, and feed our confidence in God. Giant killers like David see opportunity in opposition, potential in the problems that life brings, and victory in the shadow of defeat. Now, so many of us just keep waiting for all of our ducks to be lined up in a row. That flat line. You've seen the video. I'm going to show it again here in a minute. That flat line. That's not life. That's death. Life is up and down. We've talked about this. Life is a roller coaster. If you're on a mountaintop, don't get too smug, because there's a valley in your future. God hasn't forsaken you. That's just life. And if you're in a valley, don't be discouraged. You got a mountaintop experience coming. Do you deserve it? No, maybe, maybe not. That's just life. There's ups and there's downs. Life channels back and forth, back and forth. And the last thing you want is for it to go boop. Not a straight line, no. That's not living. With God's help, you can become a giant killer. Let's go get them. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell. And I'll be showing that video afterwards. Yeah, this is the uncomfortable silence you've heard so much about. But this is it.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.
And we're back. I thought we were gone, but we're back. Kevin, don't go anywhere. I want to answer your question. I have my head in the clouds and forgot you'd ask it. All right, here we go. Question: on the current ES 30-minute chart, do you draw the fibs going from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top? Well, that depends upon what you want to know. Okay, if you want to know where your resistance is overhead, okay, then you're going to come to the swing high and you're going to drag it down to the swing low. So as price attempts to rally up, okay, from this swing low, from this swing high to this swing low, this is the 24% Fibonacci retracement. 38, 50. You see how I drew the box in here? That's because we've got a weekly trading zone running across here. And so if price could just get through this 24, it stands a chance of getting through the 38. And so anywhere in this area, that would be a nice little bounce for us to get another nice leg to the downside, which would take us from zone to zone, back up to the zone, back down to the zone. Is that how it will turn out? I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen next, but we know what we're going to do with whatever happens next. See, you can't know the future, but you can know what you're going to do based upon what the future hands you. Think about that. You can take that into your life as well as your trading. Now, from the other side, we really have nothing to draw in the other direction, Kevin. Now, let me show you what I mean. You see, if we wanted to know where support was, okay, we would need something to connect this low to. We would need some swing high over here. If I had, a couple candles like that, and like that, and like that, okay, then I can take my fib tool and I could go from the swing high or the swing low right here up to the swing high, and then I would know where my 24, 38, 50, and 62% Fibonacci retracement are. From the low to the high shows me support I have for this current leg, okay, and resistance from this leg down, from the swing high to the swing low, and that paints these on just like that. Okay. All right. Now I know you got another question. Let me go back to the box. Another question regarding fibs. Once price drops below the 0%, what do I do with the fib? Redraw using new low, leave it as it is. Thanks. Okay, what you're talking about is, I can demonstrate it here with the candles I drew. So what you're asking is, when price rips through the 24, the 38, the 50, the 62, it comes all the way back here, okay? When it takes out that low, then you've got to refer to your next lowest weekly trading zone or whatever. There's nothing you can do with fibs. There's no place to draw it. Now you can project. You can project using this tool. You can't project way down here from up here, but book a mentoring session and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, let's see if that answered all your questions. You drew it correctly? Awesome, good job. All right, so we tried to depart the platform earlier, or the show, the flight deck. We're going to try that again. Stick around. I got a video for you. You may have already seen it, so if you've already seen it, you can go now. Don't forget to forward me a copy of your indicator registration as part of the free trial, as part of the demo that you get at cfrn.net/trial. Go there, click the DT Pro logo, download the platform, download the indicators, and we'll have a great time this week together. And I'll plug you into the Logic 247 alert trial channel. Now this is identically what comes down the pike, everything tick for tick, just like you see here. Those will be coming at you 24/7. We got crude, we got natural gas, we got the NASDAQ, we got the Russell, we got the Dow and the S&P. We're in week 15. Week 14 in review, we had 62 alerts that made it to the final target, 13 alerts that made it to at least the first target, or if there was only one target, it got at least 60% of the way or better, and 8 alerts were stopped out or hit their secondary price target, right? That's how we put lipstick on that particular thing, because stop outs have such a bad rap, such a negative connotation. Get it out of your vocabulary. If it wasn't so confusing to people who haven't been to the webinar on not getting stopped out, you can hit your target on every single trade. You've just chosen to give one of your targets a bad name and a negative connotation. Sure, who doesn't want to see price run to their profit target? But boy, I take great comfort in knowing that if it doesn't run to my profit target, it's going to run to my secondary target, and that's going to keep me from getting stuck in a trade, getting in over my head, blowing up my account. If you've never been to the Never Get Stopped Out Again webinar, I'll be doing it again in the future, but there's always a video, always, at youtube.com/CFRN. Just go to the library there and check out Never Get Stopped Out Again. Okay? All right. So that was week 14. Week 15 started last night, 6 p.m. Eastern, Sunday evening. Okay? When Globex opens, we open. And we had a great evening on Globex. So you'll be able to look at each one of these, put them up on your charts, check them out. Just go get that demo trial, forward me your registration, and then I'll send you back the link to the channel. All right. Okay, stand by for this video. I'm going to show it one more time by... No, I'm not. I thought I uploaded it. All right, sorry. I guess I'll upload it tomorrow. I can only upload 5, and I uploaded. I guess you can watch this one. Have fun. See you tomorrow.